Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm here today to review a couple movies. Um, was uh, Friend Request, Unfriended, and Unfriended Dark Web, which is Unfriended 2 Dark Web. I think it's just called Unfriended Dark Web. I can't remember. And talk to you about my history with internet or computer related horror films. I like calling it social media horror films. And I don't have a big history with a small one. And it all started way back when Dee Schneider finally released Strangeland, when they finally made Strangeland, because that's a movie they've been talking about for a long, long time. Whenever the Stay Hungry album came out from Twisted Sister, they had the songs Captain Howdy and Street Justice. And I was told, remember John said that would be a great base for a horror film. And they were talking about making it, and it took forever because that album came out in what I can't remember. It came out 82, 83. That was probably their best album, Stay Hungry. It finally came out in '98. I seen limited ads for it. I think it only played in a couple theaters. It didn't play around here because I was looking to see it. I couldn't find it anywhere. And I got it like a year later on VHS, and they said it was the first VHS release from Artisan Home Entertainment, and they used to be Live Entertainment, and then they ended up going on to be Lionsgate. Um, Artisan ended up being Lionsgate after a while. And what it revolves around is the guy Captain Howdy, who would lure people to his lair through chat rooms or something like that. And the story about how I got it was kind of unique because this was back when we still went to Sears, and they had an automotive department. And my dad went there for something, for some work done or something like that. It took like an hour or two, and he said, "Well, he's just gonna hang out there." And he said, and I walked around and stuff the mall, and they had these people taking surveys. There were people walking around with these folders in this one thing. And I always ignored them before, but I said, well, I'll see what's going on. And they asked a couple questions. And then they said, would you like to answer a bunch of questions and we'll give you $15. And I said, okay. And this is back when $15 was, $15 was $15. And it was like a survey place they had. They don't have that anymore, I don't think. And I went to a room. This lady asked me all these questions about headaches and headache pills and stuff. That's back when I used to get some different survey stuff. Because I remember there was one from this headache company. I had to answer three. It was a check for $2.50, and on the other side, in order to cash the check, you had to answer 5 questions. This was back in like '97 or something like that. So I did, and I cashed a check for $2.50. That was easy. That was about a minute of my time. This one, it seemed like I was answering questions for a long time, but I was probably in there a half hour or so. But I got paid $15 cash. And then I went to Suncoast, and this is back when Suncoast was still around, and they sold VHS movies and tapes and stuff. And I bought, because this is still like, I don't know if it was on the cusp when DVDs started coming out, but I didn't get a DVD player until a few years later. And buying Strangeland for, I think it was $10. And then it was cool after that. They had like this thing. Dee Schneider hosts this little, kind of like his version of Headbangers Ball, where he played like some metal videos and stuff. And there was like 5 or 6. It was a neat little half-hour thing. I liked the movie. Yeah, it was really good. And then years later, my friend Per was telling me about a movie called The Den, which I reviewed in 2015, and I guess May 2015. I guess it came out in 2013. It was on Netflix, and this was more like Unfriended. This whole thing, most of it took place on a computer screen. Well, some of it did, and it was about chat roulette, which I never heard of before. And I actually went on chat roulette a little bit. It was kind of strange. Because because before that I just did Google Hangouts, but chat roulette's like Google Hangouts but far different, and I don't know, it's very unusual. So I mean, all this time passed, and then I heard about a movie called Unfriended. It came out in 2015. I didn't really think too much of it, but I mean, I saw another horror film, and then Friend Request came out, I think, but that was a huge flop. And then, like about 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I found out that the movie Friend Request was on Netflix, and I think Friend Request was released by Entertainment One Studios. And they had a bunch of, they were showing some of their movies on there. I know Hurricane Heist, I saw that on there, which was okay. I guess Replicant is going to be on there. Oh, cool. And so I decided to watch it. It's a very unusual film. And this one had a bigger budget than any of the other ones I'm going to review, like almost $10 million. And it made like 9.9 million or something like that, and it only made like 3.6 million or something. Cause I found those stats on IMDb, and it revolves around this one girl. She's in I think college, and she sees like there's this other girl that's kind of like wears a hoodie. She's like a real introvert and stuff like that. And her name was Ma Rena, I think, not Mo Rena. That's someone different. I do know her. And she was just curious about the girl. She's been going to, people were like, she wasn't having any friends or anything like that. And then she looked on, I think she met up or something like that. She said she was on Facebook. So she went on Facebook. She found out, the girl found she didn't have any friends. So she sent her a friend request and she accepted. And then after that, she was like really asking her stuff and wanted to hang out with her all the time. And then the girl and her actually started hanging out. And she was looking through her. She had a lot of really bizarre stuff on her Facebook page. And they showed like these unusual animations. That's probably where some of the money went to. And found out she was really getting a little too needy. And, just, hanging around a little too much. And then her birthday was coming up. Not the main girl in the movie, not the unusual girl that Fred liked, the goth girl that she friended, that didn't have any friends. And she asked, well, I'm just going to hang out for my birthday. Can I come in? And she said, well, it's just family. Don't worry about it. And then all of a sudden, it was her and her friend. And then she said she took all these pictures to put on her social media. And the girl was really upset about it. She said, why didn't you tell me about that? I mean, I made a friend. I friended for you. I worked on it for 2 weeks. It said, 2 weeks, we barely know each other. And then something happened. And they got in a little altercation. And then the girl, her hoodie fell off. And she had this big ball spot of these scars on her back of her head or something like that. And then she freaked out. And she ran away. And then later on, she ended herself. Well, she killed herself. And after that, she starts haunting her and her friends, and with a supernatural type thing. And they try to find out the real history of this girl and stuff like that. It's interesting. It's kind of stupid, but it's interesting. It kept me interested, even though it's borderline kind of stupid, but okay. I give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was decent. I mean, it's definitely worth a look on Netflix. It's definitely something different. But I mean, like I said, I was definitely influenced by Unfriended, which I didn't see till like a week and a half later. And that one made money. Unfriended did pretty good. I looked on IMDb, like it had a budget of $1 million. I think it made like $40 million, so that's pretty good. And Unfriended is different from the other ones. This one is filmed completely in real time on through a Skype session. You look at it one computer screen, and it reminds me, there was a movie I saw in real time a long time ago. I can't remember. It might have been called Real Time. I can't remember. There was like 4 cameras. It was like split screen of 4 cameras. This is another movie I found out about through Cisco and Ebert, or maybe it was Ebert and Roper or something like that. It was an independent film. I saw this on It took me a while to find it. I saw it eventually on Cinemax, and there's 4 like independent screens and everything, and there was all the stories were interlocked with each other, but it was done in real time. It was pretty neat. I thought it was a neat idea. I liked it. And this one revolves around Unfriended is revolves around this one girl that I guess he did a video about this girl where she was drunk and something really embarrassing happened. Then that girl ended up taking her life like a day or two later. And that's kind of like the setup for it, right? And then a year later, you find a year later these people are having like a Skype session, like a Google Hangout. And they said it's a year later, and then all of a sudden they get like this one girl. The one girl comes back, and she's like on the Hangout, and they couldn't get rid of her, anything like that. And oh, now I'm gonna forget. And a bunch of weird stuff happens, and she eventually starts offing her friends. I mean, but it's really, I mean, I don't want to give away any spoil. It's really good. It really kept, and the acting is really, really good. Because sometimes some of these guys seem kind of annoying, and then eventually, as you start may like them a little bit more, and then the acting's really good. You actually, there's some real impact with some of the stuff that happens in the movie. I loved Friend Request. I thought it was a great movie. I give that a 10 out of 10. Now, Friend Request 2 came out, Dark Web. Yeah, I knew about that because Chris Stuckman reviewed it. I think it was a limited, I don't know if it was limited release or something like that. And they spent about the same amount of money, a million on it. And this one didn't make as much. I think it was more of a limited release. And this made about almost 10 million, which is still pretty good for a $1 million movie. Because they talk about all these movies losing money, but sometimes they spend so much money on these movies, sometimes it's impossible for a movie to recoup that much. And this was, it's completely different from the first one. Even though the setup is the same, it revolves around like pretty much a Skype session, but there was some different stuff in it. It starts off with this guy and girl, and this girl is deaf, and the guy's trying to create like this thing that he could communicate with her with, this site. And she was upset because she could understand what he was saying, but she couldn't understand what he was saying because he hadn't really taken a lot of sign language and stuff. And I can understand it would be tough communicating back and forth. And anyways, this guy had this computer, he said, it's a lot better. What happened to the other computer? And the guy said he found it in a lost and found or something like that. He said, well, he decided to take it home. And there was a lot of stuff in there that he didn't know about. Well, he said he bought it on Craigslist. Oh, well, don't matter. And they had a lot of these files on them, very incriminating and very suspicious files of criminal activity. And this one, it's still like a horror film, but it's more like in the world of crime. But I mean, the horror genre can do so many different things. It could be like a crime horror film. And it revolves around the dark web, and it's really good. I don't want to give away a whole lot. I enjoyed the movie. It's a little bit longer than the other one. It takes a little while for it to set up telling the story, but it's very good, very well acted. I like this one too. A couple of things I had an issue with, but I give Unfriended Dark Web or Unfriended 2 Dark Web 9.5 out of 10. These are some really good movies. Like I said, Friend Request, maybe see Friend Request first because it's the least of the three. If you're interested in this, but definitely see Strangeland. I gave Strangeland a 10 out of 10, and also The Den. If you get a chance to see, I don't know if that's on Netflix anymore. Den's awesome. That's a 10 out of 10. I don't think it was that long either. That was really weird and creepy too. I like that one. So I hope you like this review. Every one of these 3 movies. Well, I kind of like 5 movies, but of these, what I call social media horror films. 'Cause, I mean, with horror films, there's always something different. There's so many genres and subgenres. That's what's so great about horror films. Just like with metal, rock and roll, there's so many different genres that you can fall into. So I hope you like this movie review, everybody. Until next time, please, take care, my legion. Again.